Not sure if you've had the opportunity to take a literature course through the IU online system, but I just wanted to kind of work through a couple of the policies and procedures for English L204 for this term. First, just to give you the course layout, be sure that you utilize the short presentations and other resources that are available under pages. They're also listed under the modules on Canvas. You can click those. They're short presentations on the stories and points of focus within them. They'll be helpful in both engaging the short discussion questions as well as the short analyses that you'll do for the class. We're working both with short stories and novels in the course. We're working through a series of short stories to kind of think about basic elements of fiction and forms within fiction. So we'll consider those basic elements like setting, point of view, character, and theme by looking at the short stories, and then kind of move on to the novels to think about those elements as well. We'll be using the New American Stories anthology edited by Ben Marcus for the course, so please kind of try to keep up with the readings and stay with the stories and try to stay within the page numbers as noted. We'll also look at two novels in the course, Valeria Luiselli's Lost Children Archive and Ling Ma's Severance, as we think about the idea of plotting. How do you build a good story, a good novel with a strong sense of narrative craft? And so just try to keep up with the readings as you can. The readings are listed on the syllabus. They're also introduced within the modules section as well. Read within the guidelines of the writing prompts. You might want to look at the discussion question before you do the readings. If you want to watch the presentation before you read, that's fine, or watch the presentation after you read, however you prefer to do it. I also offer a few noted models as we start into the analyses later on, as well as some other resources such as interviews and other writers' perspectives on some of the stories that we're reading. Be sure to also take a look at the other course participants' postings. I'll ask you to respond to those so you can kind of engage one another as well in how these stories work. As we go into the writing prompts, think about how you can utilize the discussion prompts as kind of a proto-papers in a way. So the ideas that you introduce within your discussion prompts can develop into the short analyses. I try to give you some space and room to do that. So the short discussion postings, when you present those on Canvas, think about how you might expand on those ideas there, or how you might respond to others' ideas within your analyses as well. With each discussion prompt, I'm asking you to present your own around 150 words, and then to respond to someone else's prompt with about 75 words or so. When within the actual discussion prompts themselves, I'll ask a series of questions. You don't have to utilize or answer all of the questions that are in the discussion prompt. They offer handholds as you kind of build your own analysis, so you can utilize the questions you find most compelling to your reading of the stories or the novels. So don't feel like you have to just kind of go down the checklist and answer every one of those questions. It's much better, in fact, if you don't, but you find your own points of focus within them. Please note, though, that no late discussion posts are accepted. I leave them open for an additional 24 hours past the due date. The due date is there just to kind of give you a sense of keeping up with the work in the course, so you don't get behind. But I'll leave them open for another 24 hours due to the demands of family and work and all the other responsibilities I'm sure you have. But please note that once they do close, they are closed. Then we'll work into short critical papers during the term. Papers of 500 to 750 words, 2 to 3 pages is what I'm looking for within your analyses there, and I will give you prompts for those as well. In terms of grading and evaluation, the discussion posts are worth 0 to 5 points. your first posting is worth 0 to 4 points, depending on the depth of analysis that you introduce there, and then I give you the opportunity to earn 1 more point by responding to someone else's discussion posting within the thread. The short analyses are worth 0 to 20 points. Again, those are 2 to 3 pages. The criteria I use for grading is how do you engage the assigned stories. So be sure you quote the text as you build your analysis. Use the text for support. You can also use outside sources, but if you do, be sure that you cite those sources clearly within your analysis. What kind of critical insights do you develop within the story's development and context? How do you respond to the prompt? The technical aspects of your analysis in terms of its clarity, focus, and depth of argument. Do you provide support? Do you provide some complications to your own analysis there? And then finally, how do you edit for organization and sentence level errors? So, take a look at the grammar, think about paragraphing and how your ideas are presented and organized within the analysis. One other thing is I want you to also please review the syllabus before you get too far into the class, to look at the basic policies that are there. The basic information for my office hours and email availability is there. I try to answer email within 12 hours, or I'll answer Canvas messages within 12 hours. So you can contact me through those means. With office hours, I'm going to generally be available Tuesday afternoons via Zoom. So if you'd like to set up a Zoom session, just let me know, and we'll figure out a time that accommodates us both. I can also schedule those Zoom sessions by appointment. So let me know if Tuesday afternoon doesn't work for you, and we'll try to figure out a mutually convenient time. I do give margin comments on the drafts when you submit them for the short analyses. Those are final graded drafts, I should say. I'll put margin comments on those so you can see where your analysis is working, where it needs to perhaps develop greater depth. I also respond to discussion posts when those become due. You can utilize the Canvas gradebook to see the progress of your grade overall. I'll also utilize the student engagement roster to give you feedback on your performance in the course. And I should note that if you do have any disability accommodations that are necessary for your full participation within the course, please let me know those as soon as possible within the class. And that information about how to establish the need for those accommodations is within the syllabus itself. Finally, one other thing to note is please review course policies regarding the on-time submission of work. Again, no late discussion posts are accepted, so please turn those in on time. Note that the course is set up on Central Daylight Time, or Gary time, which is an hour behind Bloomington or Eastern Daylight Time. So assignments will be due at 10 p.m. Gary time or 11 p.m. Bloomington time. So please note, the timing of the course. Review the plagiarism policy that's on the syllabus. Note that plagiarized work is given a grade of 0, and instances of plagiarism are reported to the Dean of Students. So please give me your work. Be sure to be very deliberate about quoting any sources that you use, and give full credit to any outside sources that you use in developing your analyses. And one other thing is, note that there are differences with the online course. There's this kind of a rhythm to them, and in terms of the literature courses, part of that rhythm is to kind of stay up with the discussion posting. So this isn't, I'm not giving you like a hunk of work and then saying finish this by the end of the summer session. Instead, I'm asking you to kind of engage with other students through the discussion postings and through your literary analyses to kind of build on a sense of your interpretive skills throughout the course. So try to keep up with the work and the readings. I I think we've got some good stories and two outstanding novels that are very current and published within the last year. So I think we'll have a lot to talk about with these readings. So welcome to the course. It's good to work with you. If you have any questions, please let me know via email or Canvas message. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.